Welcome to another Speak and Flow podcast episode. I'm glad you're here because today we are going to dive into the world of connection, establishing a genuine connection. A connection is a bond where people, both parties who are there, feel seen, heard, and valued. Have you ever been with someone where you are so seen and valued? There's a connection there. There's a bond. Doesn't it feel good to be with that person where you just feel safe? Imagine feeling like that when you are speaking to your audience, allowing your audience to feel so connected to you through this bond and connection. I have a question for you. Do you feel seen, heard, and valued? Are you seen as a true strategic leader within your organization? Or are you just working really, really hard, overwhelmed, and then starting to communicate in a way that is an outburst and outlash? If you are feeling that you're getting to that point, this is your episode, because today we are going to give you some tips on how to get grounded, how to go back into establishing a connection with yourself and with your team members, so that at least, even if you're feeling overwhelmed, at least they know where you're at least you're communicating in a way that makes you an effective leader. So I know that feeling valued, seen, and heard sounds great, but I think it's more difficult than people think to do or know how to do. Because establishing a connection, a genuine, authentic connection, means that, especially as a leader, you need to go first to do that. And how do you do that? Well, that means that you need to bring your whole self in. Now, let me explain. I think most people, when they go to meet with somebody, they are showing their best selves, like their strengths. Oh, this is all that I can do and everything that I've got, all my strengths. And I only want you to see my strengths. And then I try to hide my vulnerabilities, my weaknesses, or I pretend that they're not there. And sometimes, often when you do that, when we're trying to hide certain parts of us, what ends up happening is that the receiver may feel there's a disconnect. The receiver senses you may be hiding something, or you may come off as too robotic, too perfect. And I see this especially when we're delivering presentations, right? We're trying to be someone that we're not. We're trying to exude confidence, look like we have it all together, look like we have everything and we know it all, and we get all the questions answered. And the challenge is when we're trying so hard to prove that we are somebody, we start to become less human. And when you can start to accept some of the vulnerabilities or the parts of you that feel less than or perceived as broken, when you accept them, then others will accept you, or you start to lower your guard. There's no barrier. When you're trying to pretend that they're not there, there's a barrier. You can subconsciously put up a barrier without even knowing it. And when you allow yourself to say, hey, I might mess up and that's okay. Or I may blank out, as frightening as it is, I am still accepted. When you start to do that, more than likely, whatever you're afraid of, it may not even show anyways. But that requires that you have to go into acceptance of these things that you feel are broken. And once you do that, then the other people, your audience, or the person that is in front of you can also lower their guard. They can feel there's a connection, like you're not blocking, you're not hiding. And so when they sense that you're not hiding anything, then you start to establish a connection, a bond, because they can come into the relationship lowering their guard and feeling like they can bring their whole self, not just a part of themselves, not just what they feel like are their strengths, but that you accept them for both their strengths and their vulnerabilities, because you've accepted your strengths and vulnerabilities. It's easier said than done, right? But as a leader, accepting that you need help and you don't have everything together requires that you lead anyways, knowing that you don't have everything together, knowing that you can still do this. And when you do that, you can start to establish a connection. And when you establish a connection, people feel safe. Then they can feel safe to be heard. They can feel safe to be seen and valued. And then they're more assured of you as a leader. They're assured of you in the relationship. They're assured of you in what you're saying. The trust builds your increased influences, increase your influence. And so now I want you to take it even a step further, establishing connections one-to-one. That's pretty easy, right? Would you agree that that's not too bad? What about all eyes on you? Establishing connections even when there's all eyes on you. What is that like? What is that when you're feeling that into your body? How do you feel in your body? Do you feel nervous? Not as comfortable, not as easy, correct? How about all eyes on you, lots of eyes on you, and allowing people to see your strengths, your vulnerabilities, just you as a human? Now, that is what makes a great leader. That is when you're so comfortable in your own skin, allowing people to see just you. And that is when you build trust. And that is when you can lead more powerful teams. That is when you're moving initiatives forward because the people on your team will go to you to the end of the world. So how can we make this practical, right? Like this is a concept of establishing connections. How can we make this practical in our everyday life as a leader? I want you to first start with establishing a connection with your own eyes. And then we'll move on to how do you do that in a presentation. Every day, connect with your own eyes, because if you can't connect with your own eyes, how are you going to expect lots of eyes on you to feel safe and feel comfortable? So starting to feel safe with your own pair of eyes. And to do that, it's actually not that difficult. I want you to grab your phone because the mirror is right there and you can look into your own eyes. Or if you're at home and you're brushing your teeth after finishing getting your teeth cleaned, you want to take a moment to just look at your eyes. And if you have your phone right now with you, why don't you go ahead and grab it? And you can do this with me. It's just going to take a couple minutes, but just starting to get more comfortable with your own eyes. And in a moment, we're going to hold the camera up to our eyes, and we're going to say some silent messages to our own self with your eyes. And so we're going to first get grounded, and then I'm going to have you hold up the phone. So go ahead and grab the phone. And before we hold the phone up to our eyes, I want you to just go ahead and close your eyes, and we're going to get real centered and grounded. And so go ahead and close your eyes if you are not driving. And if you're driving or somewhere out, you can still do this with your eyes open. But if you're home and feeling safe, go ahead and close your eyes. It's more powerful and you can get connected within you. And this is a wonderful exercise to do even before a presentation to help you feel centered. As you close your eyes, take a nice deep breath and exhale. And now I want you to imagine there's a golden ball. This golden ball is your power center, and it's 2 inches below your navel. It's a beautiful, radiant golden ball. It's warm. It's your power center. And this power center is here to magnetize any worries, thoughts, concerns, any thoughts and concerns, any to-dos, this all getting magnetized down to the golden ball. Feel yourself, your center of gravity dropping down into the golden ball. And your mind emptying. This power center is magnetizing any concerns. Beautiful. Feel yourself calm. And then go ahead and take another deep breath and grab your phone, opening your eyes. And now put your phone up so that you could see your eyes. It's not too far, but you are with yourself. Genuine eye contact. And just say hi. Hello there. It's good to see you. It's been a while. I see you. I really see you. I see that you are doing the best that you can. You're working so hard. Even when it's hard, even when you're tired, even when you're uncertain of what to do. I see you. You're doing the best that you can. And I am sorry if I've been so hard on you. I'm sorry if I've been so hard on you. You are a great leader. Your voice matters. Your opinions matter. You're here to make a difference. You're a confident leader. I am proud of you. I forgive you. I forgive you for. And go ahead and fill in the blanks. I forgive you for. I commit to you that. I commit to you that. And take another deep inhale. And exhale. Go ahead and put your phone down. Right now, you could be experiencing many different emotions. Some sad, some resistance, questions. What is that? Some of you may feel comforted, joyful, peace. No matter what emotion you're feeling, they're all welcome. They're all respected. And that exercise alone can rework that nervous system. So often we're busy doing so many things for other people. Establishing a genuine connection with yourself and really giving yourself what your heart needs is one of the most effective ways that you can be, that you can do something fast as a leader to make huge shifts. So I highly encourage that you use that technique every day because you're looking in the mirror every day. And many people, when they're looking into the mirror every day, guess what we're doing subconsciously? Oh, look at my thighs. Oh, look at my eyes. Oh, my hair. I'm getting fat or I'm too skinny. Like that's what we subconsciously say to ourselves in the mirror. And when you do that, you're losing the connection of who you are. And in order to be a powerful leader ready to be seen in the spotlight, you need to work through all of that and accept ourselves. And so that mirror exercise will help you round out and start to accept your own eyes. And when you accept your own eyes for both your strengths, vulnerabilities, or perceived weaknesses, perceived brokenness, and accept your whole self, truly feel good and comfortable in your skin, you're able to go into the spotlight. Or I want you to go in the spotlight even if you're uncomfortable, but at least you're feeling one step closer. And now, well, Melinda, how you might ask, how do I do this while I'm delivering a presentation? I've got all of these notes. I got to cover so many different points. How do I go and speak from my heart and speak from my truth when the organization, the manager wants me to cover A, B, C, D? What I have noticed when people start to try to think about what they need to say or remember what they need to say, they either start to memorize or they're up in their head because they're so worried that they might forget a fact. They're so worried that they are not going to say the right thing. What that tells me is that then you're really not connected with yourself and you're disconnected with the audience. So there's a simple framework that I'm going to share with you that I found, and I've studied many different speeches, and this is the same framework that most compelling speeches use. So just knowing this framework will save you so much time from rehearsing, from having to memorize your script, from having to, and fear from forgetting. Ready? So this is the same framework that I've used today on this presentation, and that is why I don't need notes. And imagine the freedom of not needing notes just because you know the framework. I think most people, when they do their speech, they memorize a bullet. I think people have let go of scripts, but the bullets, now I want you to organize into a framework. No, and it's called CACAR. C stands for context. The next C stands for challenge, action, results. Put that into your presentation, this framework, and you will be free from ever forgetting. You'll be free from ever needing to memorize a script. You'll be free from losing that connection. You're going to get back into the connection. You're going to get back into the present moment. So CACAR, context. What am I talking about? Today I'm talking, and the earlier on, I talked about establishing a connection. I talked about what it is. And I talk about the challenges. The next C is challenges. Most people don't establish connection effectively. They're not bringing their whole self. That's a challenge. Here's what I want you to do, an action. Look at your own mirror. Look at your own eyes in the mirror. And then now you go into the results. When you can do this, you will be free from your script. You will be free from having to forget. You're going to be free from memorizing and rehearsing hour upon hour and upon hour. So having that framework, you just know where you're at. You know where you're going. It's like a map. And then you don't have to worry where every single point on the map is that you are. You have the general direction, and that's all you need. And then the rest is your focus on being present. Because that is what your audience needs, establishing a connection. You want to spend majority of your energy being so focused and present in the moment, allowing yourself the freedom to speak from your heart, speak from genuineness, and allowing yourself to get feedback from the audience so you can pivot at any moment. And allowing yourself to just be you and the truth of who you are, knowing that you have everything that you're equipped. You're equipped with all the right information, and imagine feeling that sense of, I said everything that I needed to say. I did not forget anything. I had a client who she started working with me because in the beginning, she felt like nobody was listening to her. She wasn't heard. And then so she would end up speaking more and including more informations, more examples, and probably over talking because she didn't feel like she was heard, right? And so when I walked through this whole framework with her, worked on helping her to get fully present so that she could be with the audience. By the time she was finished, when we were done working with each other, she said, Melinda, I had my script or I had my framework. And by the time I was done, I actually started saying more things, different things that I didn't have planned, but I knew it was enough. And that is what you want to leave every single presentation with, is that you don't ruminate on, did I say the right thing? Did I not say did I miss something? You want to leave your presentations feeling like, I knocked it out of the park. It landed with them. What I said was enough because I'm enough. I had went into it fully prepared with my framework. I knew where I was going, what direction I was going to take them. And even if they asked me a question that was different than what I planned, I was able to pivot because I'm not bound anymore to a script. I'm not bound to thoughts about, I need to say this, X, Y, Z, because someone told me so. I had freedom in that. And that is why I can leave every single presentation feeling like I knocked it out of the park, feeling like it was just what needed to be said in the moment. And I left them feeling inspired, ready to act, motivated. And that is when the team corrals, we have synergy because the communication was so streamlined. There was flow, there was an energy there. And that is what we need to do with our communication. I think more often than not, we think that communication is not that important or I'll figure it out. Communication fitness, moving into flow, requires that you come back to these episodes every week and tune in and adjust and build that muscle so it continues to improve and continues to strengthen. So today we talked about how to establish a genuine connection, a bond where both parties feel seen, heard, valued, a sense of safety, so you increase your influence. And we talked about how you could do that one-to-one, is first with yourself, but then more importantly, now that you've established a genuine connection with yourself, how do you do this with all eyes on you? Lots of eyes on you. And not just that, bringing your whole self in, bringing you as who you are today and owning that you deserve to be in that spotlight. And when you fully believe that, you lower your guard and you establish a connection with your audience lowers their guard. And that is when the bond forms. You increase your trust. You increase the influence that you have. And therefore your team is motivated, is synergized. Your audience is excited and ready to act. And you're making a positive change in your organization, in your communities, and you're leading like that heart-centered leader on a mission. Remember that. Remember you matter and you're here to make a difference. And so until next time, I'm your sister in flow. Take care. Thanks for joining the conversation today. Are you curious on how you measure up with your ability to speak in flow? Come grab my free self-assessment
at https://speakinflow.com/assessment. And I'll see you on the other side.